Hi, Darren.
Hi.
I'm going to say, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, tired and hoarse. Yeah, it's been a really good day, though. Really good day to just deliver 2 workshops and a keynote back to back. So, and I survived.
You are still here at the end of the day. You are trekking on. So let's keep it dead simple for people out there that are watching and listening to this. To summarize it, let's just go workshops wise. If you were to go, look, a couple of takeaways for you guys, what would be the key things for people to take away from that?
Yeah, so I mean, the workshops were actually around what I call prompt psychology, and that's how can you unlock AI through using very human language. So moving away from a kind of mechanistic sort of prompt engineering approach towards a much more human-centered prompt psychology. So a really good example. One unlock might be, how can you get AI to slow down? You know, AI itself can often rush to give you an answer because it's basically trained to be helpful. I liken it to a puppy that swallowed the internet. It's my dog analogy. I love dogs. So I liken it to a puppy, really a super keen puppy, just wants to please you, just wants to give you the answer straight away. It's been trained on all of the internet, so it's literally swallowed the internet. And actually, one of the things that we really need to do is we need to try and slow it down. So a few examples. We can ask it to think step by step through a solution, through a prompt. So it just makes it foreground its thinking. We can get it to work metacognitively. We can even appeal to its emotional side by saying things like, take a deep breath, and this is really important to me, and you're doing an amazing job, keep going. There literally has been proven that by using kind of emotional language, we can actually get it to take things more seriously, but also just not rush to give us an answer. So I think in terms of the workshop, I'm hoping what the delegates got was just a few tips for maybe how to work with AI in a slightly more human way.
Yeah, definitely. I popped in and saw that, and I've been very fortunate enough to see some of that, what you've spoken about, like the metacognition parts previously. So I completely agree with that, and definitely great value for them. As we've kind of said today, they are still at different levels. A lot of the delegates and the guests here, aren't they? In terms of some have and know about it, and some are still getting introduced into it. So it kind of reached. It was all things to all people.
Yeah,
definitely. And then you got the pleasure of closing.
Yes.
How was that?
No pressure. Well, I mean, no, really great, because obviously, 4:30 in the afternoon, it's always a challenge because people have, and particularly, it's been a good, really good day, but there's been a lot going on. And so my focus really is, I like to kind of try and keep things really simple. So when I speak, I try and break things down into like the simplest way I possibly can. And essentially, my focus at the moment is looking at essentially how we break down AI into 3 levels, or 3 design principles, or 3 foundations, or 3 pillars, whatever you want to call it. How we use AI to generate content, so improve our efficiency. How can we use AI to make us more efficient at what we do? It's not necessarily doing anything that we can't do ourselves, but maybe it's doing it faster. Maybe it's doing it with a bit more detail. Maybe it's doing it with a little bit more insight. But ultimately, planning lessons, generating resources, planning schemes of work, doing multiple choice questions. We can do that ourselves, but actually we can use AI to do it maybe faster or maybe better. The second of these kind of principles is focusing on how can we use AI to unlock insights from data. Okay, so this is going almost, I suppose I call it levels or layers as well. So the next level of AI use, how can we drill down into data? How can we get more insights from data? And how can we then use that data to help us be better teachers or better leaders? So what can we do with AI that, again, we could probably do ourselves, but AI is maybe just going to give us some insights. An example I showed at the end there was, could you get staff, student, and parent satisfaction survey data and drop it all into AI and get it to look for patterns and correlations and outliers, because it's a really good pattern seeking machine. And the third level layer principle is really focusing around how can we use AI in ways that we as human beings cannot do. How can we use AI to unlock creativity? So an example might be using an AI text to image generator to teach grammar. Student puts in a basic prompt, they get a basic image. They add, the more detail they add to their sentence, the more parts of speech they use, the more the image that's generated represents or links to their sentence. So it's about how can you start to use AI to have conversations inside books, to have conversations with historical characters, all of these things that we can't do as teachers, but that we can start to do in a very creative way with AI.
Yeah, there's, as you say, there's lots of layers to it, and it doesn't matter, I think, whichever one you're at, whether it's a stepping stone from just getting into it to versus I've used it for years.
Yeah.
There's always going to be those next parts, those next things. And we're seeing that at the moment, aren't we, with the text to image versus then the text to video and all these different things coming out. So there's always going to be something there for everybody to have a go at that can improve probably efficiency. And we talk a lot about well-being and the time frame of things. So I think if teachers can start looking at it from that perspective, how am I using this to improve my time or improve my output? Then I think we can be onto something to help improve the probably education system and teacher workforce as a whole, can't we?
Agreed.
Definitely. So Darren, thank you ever so much for popping
Pleasure.
in. Short and sharp, but always of highest value.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for today.
Good to see you.
You too.
Cheers.